Hello guys, Crispy here, welcome back to another video. In this one, my friends, I'm going to be testing a GeForce GT 1030 2GB GDDR5 in Palworld. Yes, this one is the MSI Aero version of the card. We are running it with the latest Nvidia drivers and I'm not manually overclocking it. You can see all of its specs right here in Tech PowerUp's GPU-Z. Again, it's the GDDR5 model. The DDR4 is way slower than this one. And over on the left, we're pairing it with a Ryzen 5 3600X and 16GB of RAM in dual channel. DDR4 3200 MHz. Let's get into it, shall we? Alright, here we go guys, let's go over the settings first as usual, and I'm starting at 1080p resolution using the lowest settings with TSR anti-aliasing, and yeah, I think we'll stick to low settings and with lower resolutions as well in a little bit, because seeing how it ran on GTX 1060, I'm not really sure if this is gonna be playable. Oh my god, no way, this is worse than I expected it to be. Holy crap, we're getting 20s and it actually drops from 20 looking in this direction. Jesus. Oh, what the hell? The draw distance for the bushes is insanely low on low settings. Look at that. This can give you an advantage. I mean, this is not really a competitive title, so you don't really want that. But oh, Palsphere. Oh, hello. What happened? Hi, dude. Is this my pal? I think so. Yeah, go fight that bastard. Over here. Let's go, buddy. Come on, can we play like this? I'm gonna try to capture rate 43%. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. Yep, okay. Let's go. We can fight this one. Let's go. I really want it. It's level 5, you know. All right, there we go. We got him this time. Oh yes, a new one. So how do I grab my other one again? Hello? Oh my. Okay, there we go. The stuttering as well. Oh, this is not doable, guys. And that motion blur, we're still not able to disable it for some reason. Like, it is disabled in the options menu, but it's not actually disabled in the game itself. I've already seen one person refunding the game because of that. So please, developers, fix the options menu. I also heard that DLSS is not working in this game yet, although we got an option for that. So yeah, I'm not really sure because I haven't tested it. Still, no. They definitely need to work on a lot of things. Okay, it's still in early access though. Anyways, this is not gonna happen at 1080p with the GT 1030. I'm gonna try to disable the anti-aliasing. Maybe it's intensive for this card, but with the GTX 1060 it only dropped the FPS by like 1. And yeah, it's exactly the same thing without the TSR AA. Although it might look a little bit sharper right now, and especially on low settings, I think it actually looks a little bit better without TSR than it does with TSR, whereas on the ultra settings or epic settings, when I tested GTX 1060 with and without TSR, it looked better with TSR, because the finer details weren't really shimmery, but we don't really have a ton of finer details here on these settings anyways. So there's that, my friends. This is it for 1080p. I didn't even count the FPS, but it's not playable, so who cares, right? You know what? I'm gonna go home now, which is on top of that hill over there. Oh my god, the enemies also pop out of nowhere. Oh, so I'm gonna go to my house, sleep the night off, and then turn it down to 900p resolution, which is probably still not going to be playable. Okay, here we are again at 1600 by 900 resolution this time. Lowest settings, no AA, and look at that, guys. We're actually getting 40s and 30s, at least inside of the house, but I got good news. I already tried it for a little bit outside as well, and it doesn't seem to be dropping from 30. So this is a massive... Oh, it does drop. But it is a massive improvement compared to 1080p for sure. It's probably because of like the bandwidth of this card, which is extremely slow, you know. It's also PCI Express 3.0 times 4. Yeah, that hurts its performance a lot usually in a ton of titles, and here dropping it down to 900p makes things a heck of a lot better. And I think this time it can actually be playable, okay? Even if it drops here and there, even with the stuttering issues are just because this is a UE5 title, alright? And UE5 usually stutters a lot unless the games have a preload shaders feature, which this one doesn't. I mean, you can't even change the full screen resolution in the settings. You gotta do it in the desktop and then go back to the game, and yeah, it's It's unfinished, alright, but that's okay, because unfinished games can be good, apparently. Now, a lot of people are playing this game, so it must be great, right? I'm just starting here. I know how it feels already, and I know how to do a few things. I built that base over there. It's beautiful. It's much better than my house in real life. Because I don't have one. At least to my name, okay? But yeah, it seems like an interesting game for sure. With a lot of creatures as well running around. They're cute and so on. And it's dropping into the 20s, the low 20s. So you know what? I take it back, guys. Some parts of the game will be very playable with 30 plus FPS, even 40 FPS at times, but other parts of the game will drop like crazy, like right here, look at that. Nope. Since we're so much into the 20s now, even the averages dropped to 29 right there for a second. I don't think I will recommend 900p. I was really impressed with the initial FPS, but yeah, it's crap anyway. There's a reason why the GTX 1050 is the minimum required GPU for this game, okay? So yeah, I'm gonna stop it there, and now I'll drop it down to 720p right here in the desktop. There we go. And now here we have it, guys, 1280 by 720 resolution. Lowest settings. I think we got like 13 more FPS right now, or like 14 more FPS. We were seeing like 32 or 33 in this area. And now we're in the 40s, the mid-40s. So finally, this is probably going to be playable and not drop from 30 FPS. I really hope so, okay? Over here, it dropped to like 27 or whatever it was, and it's now dropping into the mid-30s, so like 10 more FPS in this area. That's good. All right. And if you really like that first area that you come across in Elden Ring, by the way, this is very similar. Alright, anyway, we're getting mid-30s, low 30s at times in this area. This means that probably in some few areas in the game, it will still drop from 30 FPS, but it's gonna stay above 30 for the most part. I'm just trying to make it drop now, like looking in this direction, it's usually really intensive. Not really, but I'm gonna go up there and look at the entire map from above, and maybe it's gonna drop into like the low 30s and high 20s. But guys, regardless of how much it drops, I think this is actually playable. This is getting very similar FPS to the GTX 1060 at 1080p epic settings, and I played for about like half an hour before I started recording that video at those settings. Oh no, I picked up some things and now I'm slower. I don't want these. And finally, we're here, looking in this direction, 30s. It's not even dipping into the low 30s, guys. I guess down there by the Marika Church or whatever that was. It was a little bit more intensive than this. 35 right here with the vegetation near us. Yeah, it's probably safe to say or assume that this is going to stay above 30 FPS for the most part. Holy crap! My boys have done huge piles of rocks. I don't want that many rocks. Seriously? Who is slacking off? What are you doing, buddy? You're gonna sleep, you know what? I am gonna grab you and bring you to your room so you can rest for a little bit. Let's go, buddy. Look at that. 60 FPS inside of the house. That's pretty nice. No. Not there. Not there. Come on. Alright, well, he's sleeping. Who cares? Oh, he woke up now. Okay. Even though this is playable, guys, and I would probably recommend you to buy the game if you really are interested in playing this one. If you have a GT 1030, it's gonna run, as you can see. Just need to drop it down to 720p and also play on the lowest settings, which look pretty bad in this game, honestly. Even on the maximum settings, it's nothing special, really. But it's all about gameplay and the adventure of playing this game and capturing the pals and so on. Look at that, 30s over here because we got some grass on screen, I guess. This grass is being rendered at a further distance. The draw distance of it is not really that small or short, so it's dropping a little bit more into the mid-30s. But I mean, you could lock the FPS to 30 and achieve that consistent experience. It's not going to be very smooth, of course, but it's going to be consistent at least. So I would say they based their system requirements, the minimum ones, at 1080p low settings, and the GT 1030 is a good contender to a system requirements GPU, but at 720p low settings. Look at that. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's dropping. It's dropping with all of these trees down here. 31, it dipped to like 30 previously, but it's not really dropping from 30. And obviously, if you overclock your GT 1030 by a little bit, God, the stuttering, you can achieve a little bit higher FPS as well and make it even more stable. Instead of dropping to like 30 FPS flat, it would only drop to like 32, 33, whatever. The point is, it's playable. Feel free to buy the game. Okay, lastly, I kind of want to see if we can play at 800 by 600 res. So I set it here on Windows. There we go. It is actually running at 800 by 600 now. I'm gonna set it to Windows right here. Oh, it doesn't show. Interesting. This is weird. Okay, so it is at 800 by 600 resolution now. Definitely because of the stretched res, you know. But we could actually go down if we played in windowed mode to like 480p. I think I'm actually gonna go back to 720p right here and do exactly that because I want to keep that 16 by 9 look, you know. Alright, apply. There we go. This is windowed now. Wait, can we actually set it to full screen while keeping the 480p resolution? We were getting like 50. No, it's at 720p again. Oh boy, come on. Why don't the resolutions work? Alright, there is a workaround though. I'm gonna show you, okay? So you go to your Nvidia control panel and you want to go to change resolution, customize, and create a custom resolution right there. And now you're gonna type the resolution that we had inside of the game in windowed mode. Alright, that is 854 by 480, 854 by 480 test. And now the capture card stops recording, but all you need to do is accept or save the test, say yes, basically, in the checkbox. And here we have it. We are at 480p inside of Windows. All right, everything is very, very crammed in. And finally, we're playing at 480p full screen, guys. There it is, and getting 50-ish frames per second in one of the most intensive areas. Remember, this was dropping to like the 20s at 900p and the mid-30s to low 30s at 720p, and we are at 60 FPS, dropping down into the 50s this time around. So if you want that smoother experience and you don't care about the resolution because you have a smaller monitor, for example, this is a good way to play the game. It's going to be that little bit more smooth than 720p is for sure. There's quite a bit of scaling coming from a higher resolution to a lower resolution in terms of FPS for sure here with the GT 1030. That's good to see because in newer titles, or at least with newer GPUs, you don't really see it that often. That happens in PUBG with like the GT 710. I even played at 7p, that's 7 vertical pixels. Everything was just basically a few pixels. You couldn't really see anything, obviously, but yet it was getting exactly the same FPS as like 360p on that card. That's because of the limitations. But in this one, it's good to see that it's very scalable, and if you're okay with creating these custom resolutions and playing at a really, really low resolution, you can have a good experience. And good thing the graphics aren't really that impressive as well, because that means that it will work pretty alright with these super low resolutions as well. Yeah, it's pixelated, but you can see pretty much everything. So yeah, that's been it for this one, guys. I guess the next one should be the GT 710, since we can actually play with these very, very low resolutions. But well, stay tuned in for the next one then. Ooh, dropping into the 30s over here. Seems like we found a new, more intensive area. Alright, interesting. But it doesn't drop from 30, so it is playable. Feel free to buy the game if you want to, again, and I'll catch you in the next one very soon. As always, love you all. Bye-bye.